The last time I went to Philadelphia, I visited my storage unit and brought back some old decks. Um, Either 5 years old or later. And this was in that container. This is the Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And I love this oracle. So I thought it would be fun to show it to you guys. I know it's not new, and many of you may even have it. I think there's even a pocket sized version by now, but it's one of my favorites, and I really wanted to show it to you guys. I love the box that it's in. I thought it was so pretty with the purple. Here, I'll show you. There we go. There's 44 cards in here and a guidebook. And the artwork is by Razuli. Hope I said his name right. And here it's all about Rumi. So any of you who are lovers of Rumi like I am, this is an awesome deck. So my name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another awesome edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Let me know in the comments section if you're familiar with Rumi and what do you think. Rumi is a poet from the Sufi tradition. And I love the Sufi poets the most. They're my favorite poets because they all, not all, but mostly all of them write about love, divine love. And I just love it. I just love it so much. So let us know what you think about that. If you want to get a personal private reading done, please let me know. Hit me up on my social media or an email. All that information will be underneath this video. So let's get started. It has finger holes on the side. You know I gotta have a good finger hole moment. And this is the inside. Pretty pink. I love that pink. Pink is my color. And let me show you the guidebook before I show you the cards. Now, with every guidebook by Alana Fairchild, it is a lot. Let me show you. The first thing you're going to find is the poem by Rumi. Then you're going to find some more information that was channeled by her. And then you're going to get more information, which is the summary of the card. And then you're going to get a sacred honoring ritual. So as you can see, this is not the kind of deck that you just get a quick answer and go, go sit somewhere with it. This is a deck that has to be savored. Seriously. It's like a fine wine. You don't just gulp it down. You slowly savor this deck and allow it to seep in. It's great for journaling. It's great for altar work. And that kind of thing. It's a beautiful deck. Here go the backs of each card. Not too thick, not too thin. Great for shuffling. Very glossy. As you can see, I mean extra glossy. So I like glossy, but a lot of people have a problem with it when trying to photograph, and do camera work. So now I'm going to show you all the cards. So like I said, these are great to go on the altar because they're so big. See? So if I wanted to put this on my altar and then ponder on it, I can. This says beyond death, life. So each one has like a little key phrase or key saying on it. So if you wanted to not use the guidebook, you theoretically could intuitively read these. You can use what's on it, passion for purpose, for example, here. And you could intuitively read the art because passion for purpose has to have something to do with passion. It has to have something to do with following your purpose. The color red, you could bounce off of the red. You could bounce off of the hot pink. I think it's, what is it, like reddish hot pink? Yeah, you can bounce off the color, using like color correspondences and color therapy. So you theoretically could use this deck like that as well. Now I'm going to tell you how I use it. What I do is this. I shuffle all of the cards. And I generally ask the universe, what do I need to see today? That is my favorite question to ask the universe. And then I pull one card. Now, in the front of this guidebook, there is spreads. So you could use more than one card. But because there's so much written with each card, I've never found that to be practical with any of Alana Fairchild's decks. And as you can see, well, you can't see them, but over there, I have like 10 of her decks. I really love her work, but it's not the kind of work, that you can just rush through. Remember I said savor it like fine wine? So that's what I do with it. I get one card, I put it in my little card holder like such. I read the summary. I do the healing prayer or the honoring prayer, whatever it is. I read the whole thing and then do the honoring prayer, whatever it is. And then sometimes, depending upon what I'm in the mood for, I will journal about it because these are very interesting topics. And when we're done, I'm going to talk about one of the cards to give you an idea of what I mean by that. So a lot of times that's what I'll do. I'll sit and I'll journal about what it was about, how I feel about it, and that kind of thing. If I used it for altar work, I'd probably put it on the altar and put a candle in front of it if I wanted to work on a specific topic. And as you can see, each one of them has the number right here in the corner, and then it has the little statement right there, the expression. And like this one says, the impossible made possible. Again, if I wanted to read this intuitively, I could just talk about things that you're manifesting into your life. Impossible made possible. I would tell a person to dream big, because whatever you dream, you're going to be able to manifest it. So like I said, I don't know what each and every one of these cards means. I have to use the guidebook, but again, you can use it intuitively like I just illustrated. Now, why do I use the guidebook versus just doing it intuitively? Well, I like intuitive reading. I do that with a lot of decks, but I feel like decks by Alana Fairchild, I feel like it's a disservice not to use the guidebook. And the reason why I feel that way is because when you slow down and you read the guidebook, there's so many gems in it. I mean, I can't even tell you. It's so many gems in this in the guidebook. So I always read it because I don't want to miss any of those gems. And with other guidebooks from other creators, I have a tendency to at least flip through it just to see, because these decks can really be transformative. A lot of them have more going on than just a summary or an interpretation. Like I said with this one, the little honoring ritual is very transformative if you choose to use it that way. I love the artwork on these cards too. As I'm showing them to you, you can see how bright they are. The reds, the purples, the greens. I love the color palette that was used here. A lot of times you see like muted colors in a lot of decks. And I don't mind muted colors, but I love pops of color. I love vibrant colors the most. So the artwork is gorgeous with these. And I feel like it really does match too. Some of the times the artwork doesn't match to me. Certain decks, the artwork is beautiful, but it doesn't match the card. And we don't have that problem here for me. For me, each of these really matches extremely well. You will also notice that there is a border around the card. I'm not a border person. I'm a borderless kind of individual. But with this particular deck, if you really wanted to, if you were somebody who was skilled at trimming decks, you could take these borders off pretty easily. Now, a lot of people modify their decks now. It's very common. People take off borders. People do edges, like these edges here. You could do with like a purple marker or a gold marker. That could be a really nice touch. People do these kind of things all the time. It's not my thing though. I do not modify my decks. And the only reason why is because I'm not skilled at it. I'm not skilled at it. I destroyed one deck trying to take off the edges and never did it again. So I probably just needed some practice. And, that's really the answer to everything. If you want to get good at it, just keep doing it. But I got discouraged because I destroyed my $30 deck. Okay. And gave up on the concept. So if you're somebody who's crafty and has a steady hand and stuff like that, that might be something that you may choose to do if the borders are a pain for you too. I don't even know why we need the borders. I don't get that because I I mean like with all the decks that I have, a lot of them have borders. So it's not like something that kills me or like, it's going to end my day, but I just think they're unnecessary. Sometimes they look good. Like these borders, they do frame the artwork very well, and they're very well done, and they're not too thick. So I can deal with them. I just don't think they're necessary. I think that they could have stretched the artwork all the way to the edges, and it would have been equally as beautiful. And some people love borders. You can go to another person's channel and they can tell you the exact opposite of what I just said. So it does definitely depend on the person. Another thing you will notice about these illustrations is that they have a very romantic love, divine love. There's a strong love theme here. And remember, I told you that Rumi is a Sufi poet, and that is one of their strong suits. So again, with the art matching, I love the fact that we see so many depictions of love, self-love, love of others, sacred love. There's all these different love themes going throughout the poetry, and then that's tied together with these beautiful pictures. So this is a Blue Angel deck, and yeah, it's definitely a Blue Angel deck. And I have a lot of Blue Angel decks, and I've shown you quite a few Blue Angel decks. Blue Angel has good quality. As you can see, I've had these cards for years, at least 7 years at this point, probably longer than that. And as you can see, I've been using them and they have no wear and tear at all. The only wear and tear I can see is on the box, because on the box, you will see, let me show you, that the writing is wearing off. See, that's the only place I see wear and tear after 7, 8 years of having this deck. So the cards hold up extremely well, and the guidebook has held up extremely well. I have guidebooks that fell apart. They fell apart the first time I used them. Awesome deck, but the guidebook was just not. It should at least last more than one time using it. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of decks that did not. So these Blue Angel puts these together in a way that they're meant to stay together, and they do. Here's more of that passionate colors that I was talking about. This is the kind of deck also, sometimes when I don't feel like reading, I sit and just look at the art. That's one of the best things about decks, tarot and oracle, is the art. And sometimes if I just want to feel, a certain kind of mood, like for this one, if I wanted to feel loving and happy, I would just sit and just go through the pictures. That's it. Just look at the pictures. Don't even have to pull a card or read anything. Just look at the pictures and think about the concepts. I also have another deck by Rumi, or inspired by Rumi, and I also have, let me see, another one that's inspired by Sufi poets as well. So if you're somebody who likes Rumi and you like that type of like love poetry, check out the Sufi Oracle as well. It's similar to this one as far as art is concerned. I think Razuli did the art for that one too. It's very similar, but a little different, a little bit more modern. So as you can see, this is a really gorgeous, gorgeous deck. And the thing about these, I was telling you guys about how I picked them. I generally just do one card a day. And that card is my theme for that day. Okay. So now I'm going to pick one. I saw one that was really pretty that caught my eye. This one. And I'm going to read it to you. Now remember, I said it's long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to make sure I show you how I use it. So when I don't have a lot of time and I want to do this, I read this part, the poem itself, then I read this part. It's all in italicized, right? Italicized print. And then it goes into the rest of it. So if I'm pressed for time, I just read that. Bam. You see, not too long. Read that, see what it says, and then later on, when I'm finished for the day and it's bedtime, I'll read the rest of the summary and do the secret honoring ritual. So I'm going to read this to you so you see what it says. Sacred union. Only the oneness of love and the lover is eternal. Surrender your heart into this union, for all else in this world is momentary. Rumi. I love that. I just love Rumi. He's just, if you love, and like Bridgerton and stuff like that, check out Rumi. If you're into that kind of thing, yeah. Now, this is the part that it looks like to me, this is the part that Alana channeled. Stupefied with bliss, I become without thought. There is no grief in that loss. I gladly surrender my intelligence in favor of this mindlessness. It is ecstasy, rapture. The sweetness of the union, so sacred, overwhelms my senses. The lover and the beloved are my world. Everything else exists except this love, this unity of divine masculine and feminine, and the fresh new universe that shall be born from their sacred conjoining. It happens even now, between my body and my spirit, and in yours, and in his over there, and that woman passing by. All creation is sacred, rapturous embrace, so shocking and wild, this frenzy of loving delight without limits. Let us be swept away, my beloved, in the passionate loving that renders duality into one and tips the mind into empty ecstasy. So then the next part I told you was her summary, and I'm going to read you the sacred honoring ritual just so you got an idea of what it's like. Place one hand on your heart and the other outstretched before you, as if to place it on the heart of another. Say aloud, through the grace of Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, I call upon my true beloved now to be at one with my heart purpose. Through divine grace, our sacred union is now sanctioned and blessed. The love in my life swells to overflowing, and I do not try to contain it. I'm satisfied to be washed away in bliss, and I serve the great beloved in this divine romance, offering my heart to the one great love through which all other love emanates. I am love. I am united heaven and earth, conjoined in passionate devotion to the great beloved. Love fills my life in all the ways I need, and I am graced by divine blessings so rich. Thank you, so be it. Place both hands on your heart and rest for as long as feels good for you. When you are ready, simply open your eyes. Place your hands in your prayer position briefly and then on your head. You have finished your sacred honoring ritual. So as you can see, the rituals are very easy. It's not like you have to get ingredients or go out into the woods or, cut down a tree. It's a very simple ritual. You just put your hands on your heart. You say some things. And this one is specifically, it looks like calling in your soulmate, calling in your other half, calling in a sacred union. That's what this card is all about. So if I'm in a rush, I just do that. And then I read the other part later. So this is what I do with the Rumi Oracle, and really this is what I do with all of Alana Fairchild's decks. So I recommend reading the whole thing, using it as much as you possibly can, if this is your style. I use these mostly for my spiritual practice. This is my spiritual practice. I'll read this, do the journaling, then do some meditation and some prayer. It's part of that practice. So it comes in very handy if you're somebody who doesn't have a spiritual practice. Let's say you want one, but you've never even thought of it. Buying this deck and pulling one card a day and letting it reveal to you what's going through your energy, what's going through your aura, what's going on around you, could be the beginning of that. That's one of the things I love about her work is that it is extremely spiritual work. And if you're somebody who wants that, it's awesome, you know. And she has different cultures. Like she has Rumi, she has one from Kalima from the Hindu tradition, she has Mother Mary from the Catholic and the Christian tradition. She has angels, light workers. Kuan Yin is like my favorite one. The Isis Oracle, which is works with Goddess Set from ancient Kemet. She has different ones from different cultures, and then she has one or two that talk about several different cultures. Her latest one, the last one that I reviewed that was brand new, that one talked about cultures from all over the world. So regardless of what your spiritual system is, regardless of what your beliefs are, you can see yourself reflected in one of her decks. And if you want to use something that's structured, it's a great concept, it's a great idea, it's a great help. Okay, so I'll be back with more of these. I have about 10 more, about 10 more decks. I think I've shown you guys maybe 2 or 3 of them. So I'm going to make a list of all the ones you haven't seen. And if you guys are interested, let me know that you want to see the rest of the Alana Fairchild decks. And I will continue to do them and talk about them and how I use them on a daily basis. Okay? You guys come back soon because I got so much more to say. See you later.